Yo, what's up, guys? This is Josh here. Next Level Business Podcast. We're back at you with a new season. We're in the warehouse right now. We got some amazing guests. We got a new series for you. It's going to be great. First of all, I'd like to introduce my friend, David Chuckman, to the show. Welcome, David.
Thanks for having me. Really excited being here, guys.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And then we got Shane. Tell him what you got going on, Shane.
Shane Mara. So we've had a little bit of a hiatus, but in that time, we wrote a book. I was a banker for 15 years, and the biggest observation I came away with was this right here. The best business owners buy their own building. So it's called Confessions of a Banker. The best business owners buy their own building. And that's what we're here today. We're here to talk about it. We're here to, the exact thing that we talk about in this book is what you did.
Without having the book. So congratulations.
Yeah, that's wild. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I definitely just did that.
He just did that. So David just purchased his first building. We're going to talk a little.
Big props.
Yeah, big congratulations
props,
on that, man.
Thank you.
Props.
Yeah.
Really appreciate
It's
that.
just been cool watching the whole thing unfold, and yeah, it's great. I'm super excited for you, and we're going to break that down. So we're going to kick it off. First of all, guys, want to hear a little bit about earlier before the podcast, David dropped a bomb on me, and he said his parents came here with nothing, and so we got to hear more about that story because I resonate with that a lot. And so tell us, David, tell us a little bit about that, about growing up and kind of how you got started.
Yeah. My parents came here from another country, literally with like a suitcase. And I don't even think they had $500. All they had was a suitcase and a few bucks. And, they were coming here for the American dream. A lot of countries, they're really bad and you really can't do anything. You can't own your own real estate. You can't own anything there. You literally have to wait in line to get food and things like
This
that.
is Soviet Union.
Yeah,
right?
Soviet Union. It was rough. So my dad, I guess he had an entrepreneurial spirit and we didn't know it yet because his family was like, don't leave here. They're like real patriots, like you're a traitor, and my dad was like, no, I got to get out of this place. There's got to be something better. I want to raise my family somewhere else because this is terrible. So
especially coming to the USA, probably.
Yeah.
Especially when he did.
Yeah. His dad was very, very upset. He got called a traitor and things like that because his dad was very patriotic. That's all he knew. In those countries, you have to go to the army, when you're a teenager and things like that. So he believed in his country. But I guess that's where it all started. The entrepreneurial journey comes from my dad.
Yeah.
And they came here with nothing and started working super hard. He was in the army back in the Soviet Union. He drove trucks, moving things and moving people in the army. And he also fixed vehicles and fixed the trucks. So when he came here, he actually became an auto mechanic, making nothing, but he did it. He worked really hard. And eventually he opened his own business. That was really hard. And he went back to driving trucks because you didn't have to manage people and things like that. That just is very hard, as you guys know.
Still hard.
And so, he drove trucks until he retired. But, me coming to this country while my mom was pregnant with me, so I wasn't born there. I was born here the first year. They lived in an apartment and not a good area you wouldn't want to be in. And then they worked their way up. And I don't know, but I guess I got to see that my dad was always at work, worked really hard, harder than most people. And it just came into me. So I was like, as soon as when I was a child, I was one of those kids that mowed lawns for money to buy the things that I wanted because my parents couldn't get it for me. And then when I got into cars, I'm like a car nut. And I like to go fast. I'm very competitive and I like to go fast. I like adrenaline. And my parents are like, we can't buy you that car that you want. And so it just continued. Like I could never get what I wanted because my parents made a good life for us and gave us the opportunity, but they never really made it, to the level that I wanted to make it to. And so they always told me no, like, Lamborghinis aren't for us, for people like us. And that made, I don't know, like I just got a chip on my shoulder, a fire inside when he told me no. I always want more. So I just kept going. And that's really the story. And then I finally opened my own business, the window tent shop, Tritech Window Tinting.
When was that established?
2002.
2002.
Yep, in
So what
Garland,
year-
Texas.
Man,
It's like
20 years?
22, 23 years
Yeah.
now.
Wow.
And the thing that kept me going, because it's so hard, is that, like, I don't know, I guess I love my parents and they came and they did a lot of hard things to get to this point, that I wanted to repay them someday. So that was like the first thing that drove me to not quit. Because, like, a lot of people quit because it's just so grueling to have your own business. You have to be an
It's a grind.
accountant,
It's
you have
painful.
to be a janitor, you have to be in sales,
Vlogger.
taxes, vlogger, you know,
And the
and-
hardest part is starting from scratch.
yeah,
Like, it's always easier to buy an existing business, but when you start from scratch and you got to do all that from the ground up,
yeah,
it's so hard, man.
yeah. I didn't have any money, so I had to work a lot. Like, you know, it's that typical grind for a long time until you can build up some savings and things like that. That's what drove me, just coming from nothing. And my wife's parents are the same way, and we're blessed to be able to help both of our families financially when they need it.
But shout out to the American Dream and shout out to mowing lawns as a young kid. You were an entrepreneur in training, my man.
Yep, I had no idea.
Exactly.
And shout out to the hard work and ethic. That's the part. That's the key takeaway. Because, like, if you look at anybody's story nowadays, it's like that's the fabric of any story. Like, coming here, working hard, and having that work ethic. I think a lot of people now, it's so easy to make money online. Don't get me wrong, but still, the ingredient is hard work. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That's an amazing story. And tell us about the early days of TriTech. Like, you were tinting the cars yourself. Like, you just one person shop, and then
I mean, pretty much, yeah. I went in with my best friend, and in just a few months, he was like, we were young, man. We were like 20 years old.
yeah,
And he was like, I think I'd rather play video games, you know, and do stuff, and, you know, do what 20-year-olds do. And he stopped coming to work. And I was like, I'm going to quit too, you know. But when you hit rock bottom, it's like, what do you do when you're at rock bottom? I was like, this is my dream, like, to have a business, to be able to provide. And this is the only way I'm going to be able to do it. So he ended up not wanting to do it anymore, and I didn't want to. And basically he was like, give me, I think it was 17,000 or 25,000. I really don't remember now. And I'll walk. And we didn't have anything yet. We were talking in the first few months, the first year of the business. And I found a way to get the money, and that drove me even harder, because all right, I'm all in now. Like,
so you had to buy him out.
I bought him out.
Okay.
Yeah.
But did you guys have like LLC set up, and then that's?
We had no idea what we were doing.
So
we had a DBA,
okay,
and that's it, you know. And I was kind of fortunate, you know. It's about who you know. Sometimes one of my best friends, his father was the VP of Hooters, Texas Wings, and I hung out at their house all the time and stuff. I had no idea. I never talked about business, but I asked him, what do I do? And he was like, just write a simple contract with this, and this. Okay. And he signed it, and we moved on.
Was it even worth the 17 grand that you had to pay him out?
It wasn't worth it, probably, but it was worth it.
That's a lot of money for a few months.
It was like $1 million, you know, to me.
Right.
Yeah. It wasn't probably worth it at the time, but what I did with it, when I just went all in, I made it back pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I built a multi-million-dollar empire, you know, 2 decades later. So yeah, it's
worth
everything was worth it.
Yeah.
Were you renting back then?
Yeah, I was actually renting all the way up until this year. Actually, technically I paid my landlord off until June 2025. So I had to pay him off, and so I paid all the way through next year, and I left.
Just to get out of the lease?
Just to get out of the lease.
Oh, okay.
But I was really miserable.
That's another reason why you want to own your own building. Because
Yeah.
as a landlord, you can do stuff like that.
Yeah, he still got paid.
He's still
Yeah,
getting
he's still
paid.
getting paid,
Yep.
baby.
He's getting paid till next year.
That's
And
right.
you haven't been there in how long?
I haven't been there since March of this year, and now
Okay.
it's almost December.
There you go.
Nice. Tell us about the building.
The building we're in now, it's about 10,000 square feet. We went
That's a
from
big one.
Yeah, we went from 2,000 square feet. We were like just popping out of the seams
5
in there.
times.
Yeah, and 10,000 I was afraid to do, but I know like you got to 10x it. You got to like
10x, baby.
you gotta go big, because what if you move into a small building
Yeah.
and then you need to move again right away? So I was like, I'm a hard worker, I'm consistent, I have a vision, and I'll keep going. So I was like, let's get the dream shop, the dream building, and give me room to grow. Because what with automotive window tint and paint protection film, ceramic coatings, you fill up the bay with cars quickly. Cars are big. So, if we got a 4,000 square foot building, which would have been double, that would only been a few more cars, and there's not much growth there. So, and the other thing is, when I got the building, it was a piece of junk. Like everybody I showed the building to was like, no way, this is a piece of junk. No way. Like,
Trying to talk you out of it.
yeah, exactly. They're like, you can't, it's
You
going to cost
can't.
so much to
Wow.
fix this. There's no way it's going to work.
Yeah.
And just from doing this for so long, what I was doing, that I could see the vision.
Yeah.
And I'd been looking for years, right? I've already been looking for years before I could even get out of my lease. So I knew what was out there. I knew how much things cost because I was the one researching and looking all the time when no one else was even thinking about it.
Mhm.
So I tried to get a building just like it a year before, but things didn't work out with the guy selling it, because he was really pushy and trying to like change the deal all the time. So I bounced out of that deal. But the next time a building like that came up, which
You
was
were
very
ready.
hard to find, like automotive buildings with bay doors, they're actually hard to find, especially between 5 and 15,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And I'd been searching far and wide. So I kind of had some education. So when I saw this one, I was like, we can fix this up, because this is like the perfect setup, even though it needs a lot of work.
it's such a big deal in the commercial space is the proper zoning. And they
Yeah.
don't want to give automotive zoning. They're very difficult to get.
Correct.
So you probably already had that zoning in place, which
Mhm.
that had a massive value on it.
Yep.
But be careful who you listen to. Like, he told a good story about people tried to talk him out of buying that building. He'd already done his homework. He knew what he needed. And so you always need to first off, you need to believe in yourself. Like when you're trying to get a building, a lot of times I always see this when I talk to people about buying their own building. They have doubts. They have self-doubts first. They can pull it off. But if you're talking to the wrong people and you have your self-doubts, you're never going to do it.
100%.
Let's talk about how you got over that, because I know, were they business owners that you were showing it, or?
One of them was, the rest weren't.
Mhm.
But even he was actually one of my mentors. Was like, no, dude, this thing's a piece of junk. It's going to take way too much money.
Yeah.
Now, being one of my mentors, he was right. I put in double the amount that even he said it would cost to fix it. It cost me double. They were like, it's going to be like $350K to fix this place. It's not worth it. To remodel it and fix everything. I was like, no, I could do it for like 150, 200. And I was like, I could do this, but
It took
that's
7.
my mentor was smart. Yeah. When we started taking apart everything and pulling the ceilings down and things like that, wires started sparking. It needed all lighting, all electrical, all new AC and heat. And it just started stacking.
Yeah.
Like it started stacking.
10,000 square feet. Too.
So we replaced like literally everything, insulated it. I mean, everything you could do, new doors, insulated garage doors. And in the interior, we did, marble floors, quartz counters everywhere, and just really went all out because I wanted to build an experience for our customers like no other. Like when you come in an automotive shop and you have a high-end vehicle, you want to know that it's in the right hands. And I knew if I did something that no one else was doing and I could take that risk with the experience I have, the reputation I've built, I knew I could overcome it, but it was the riskiest thing and the riskiest time to do that, with the election year and things like that. But it was a horrible idea when you really think about it. And my mentor was right. I put in 600,000-700,000 into it to get it going.
I will say this though, like when it's yours and you're going to be there a while, like you may have over improved it, right?
Oh yeah.
Like all the stuff you put in, it didn't sound like you needed to spend 7. You probably
course.
could have spent a lot less.
Oh yeah.
but you chose to do that.
Correct.
And I will guarantee that's going to pay off heavy. Like when you walk this thing out 5 years, 10 years. So even though you might have put a little bit in it early on, it's going to pay off. And one of the big things is because it's yours. You know, it's not, you're not improving somebody else's property. That is yours. So you didn't mind spending a little extra if it's yours.
Right. Yeah. And I guess down the road, if the property goes up in value and because we
Which
made it
it
so
will.
nice, it's probably already worth a little bit more than it was when I got it. But in time, it'll probably be worth, at least what I put into it if it hasn't already got there.
Oh, I will bet money in 15 years you'll see a double.
Right.
That's almost just how it is in the commercial real estate world. Like today, it may seem like, you paid a retail price or, a market price, but you walk that out 10, 15, 20 years, you'll see your double.
And I guess in 15 years, it may be paid off. And that's all.
That's another beautiful thing.
Yeah. And you're making money out of it inside your own business and you don't have to pay rent. So I guess you could buy another building and build your portfolio, right? And retire.
Absolutely.
Exactly. That's the end goal right there.
Sell
We were-
everything.
You don't want to be dealing with employees forever.
Yeah, that is, I think if anybody says that's not the hardest part of business, they're lying. I really believe that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you said that you did an owner finance deal. So
Yes.
tell us how that came about and what kind of deal you struck up.
I actually met a gentleman. I saw the for sale sign again. I've been looking, so I'm driving around all the time. I actually got this deal a little bit too early, but I was driving around. I saw the for sale sign on the building. He wanted to do a owner sell without a realtor because he didn't want them to take a percentage of it.
6% off top.
Yeah, so he was smart. I drove by, called him. Nicest guy. He came and he met me right away, and he was extremely nice. I could tell he could read me like a book. Like I just could tell he was somebody, and I didn't figure out till later, but he really was somebody. And he's had a ton of experience, a ton of employees, and a ton of properties in his life. 77-year-old man. He owned all the Ponchos restaurants.
Wow.
Raise the flag, Ponchos.
He sold them all to his employees. There is a place called Hula Hut in Austin, and then Louisville. Like Louisville, he built it and designed it, and I believe sold them off too. And the properties are all his.
A true restaurateur.
A true
That's the hardest
restaurateur
business there
and
is.
businessman that owned all the real estate.
Yeah.
So he was a developer and got the businesses going, sold the businesses to his managers, and kept the properties.
Yeah. And I will interject there, like, as far as like owner finance goes, like that's my number one method. If I'm talking to people about if they want to go buy their own property, see if they will do an owner finance first, because banks are very, very difficult to deal with these days, and they're behaving badly. They're getting worse every passing year. And that may be my second book, Banks Behaving Badly, because they're up to no good too much of the time nowadays. And I've seen personally, I've been involved on one of these, and I've been involved on another one where they can actually call your notes. Like you can have a performing note, but they'll put these little covenants inside there where you have to give them, let's say, quarterly financials. If you come up with a bad quarter, they kind of, they cross their hands and just go, You throw another bad quarter in there, you get a call, and it'll be your banker, and he'll be like, "Hey, Shane, I need you to come in and just sit with me and another guy from the bank." Don't answer that call. If they call you like that, you don't want that call. So the best thing to do is not even deal with them. So if you can, like in commercial real estate, you find a lot of owner carries. Like the guys that own the property, they don't mind. Like they get to enjoy the run up if there is one. If you don't pay, they get to make a spread if they have their own loan, or some of them haven't paid off. So a lot of owners don't mind carrying notes, and that's the easiest thing in the world to get back. Everybody thinks foreclosures are tough. They're not tough to get back. It's hard to get cars back. It's hard to get motorcycles back, but it's not hard to get a house back or a building back because that doesn't move. That's why banks loan on those so much.
Yeah.
And so I'm a big fan of owner finance. So I like that you got that. And he said he was at 7%. Is that right?
7%.
I can tell you right now, banks are 1 to 2 points higher than that right now. So you got an undervalued loan, and you got to kind of dictate terms a little bit.
Did they do a 20 year note, 25?
Actually, I want to say we did a 15-year note
15?
for 7%.
Yeah.
Um, I tried to work with them a little bit and talk them down a little bit because it needed a lot of work, and he helped me out a little bit. He extended the payment. I didn't have to pay it for like 3 months
Okay.
to help me, get
And
going.
that's another thing that you can negotiate right there.
The
Like a
banks will
bank
not
wouldn't
do
do
that.
that. A bank would say,
Yeah.
"Nah, you're paying right out of the
And
gate."
also, I believe instead of putting down 20%, he was like, just give me 15%. So that was the negotiation.
There we go.
So I got quite a bit of money to start the
Exactly.
rebuild, and remodel, and that helped me a lot.
So what was if you don't mind sharing, what was the purchase price? And then how
The
much
purchase price was 1.3 million.
okay. And then 15%.
15%
Percent
down. It's
down.
like 216,000, I believe.
Okay. No banks. You had
No
to deal with no
banks.
realtors.
Yep.
Just straight get the deal done.
Yeah, we went to his this is a very wealthy man. He lives in basically one of the richest neighborhoods in Dallas. On the street, there's like the house you see that's always on the internet, like literally across the street from his house. There's the house that's like two houses that someone bought, and it has like the water park in the backyard and all that.
The
Everyone's
lazy
seen it.
river.
Yeah, it's like this crazy house. He lives across, like, it's literally his neighbor. And so when I went to his house, I was like, holy smokes,
Did you close at his house?
Yeah, his office is at his house.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's what I love about owner finance, man. It's truly the way to go. You can come up with stories like this. I love
It's
this story.
crazy. He had his office is bigger than this building. His
At his
office
house.
at his house. He
Yeah.
has 14 cars in the garage, and he's got this big office. And then a garage, you walk out the door and there's 14 cars.
Yeah, and it's probably in Highland Park, somewhere in that
Yeah,
neighborhood.
Preston Hollow, Highland Park, right off the Dallas
$400 a
Tollway.
foot.
Royal, yeah, Royal Lane, yep.
Yeah,
but
we're sitting in 5,000 square feet right now. So that just to give you perspective as to how big this man's office is.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
And then the house is attached to that, it's nuts.
All right, so I got a question for you. So you waited roughly 20 something years before you bought a building. Did you
Correct.
think about buying it earlier?
I always thought about buying a building. I was always afraid to pull the trigger. And second, I was I would say my addiction to cars, speed, that was my drug, cars and going fast. I probably spent way too much money on that. And I should have got a building way sooner, because for the price of that car behind us, I probably could have bought a building near like mine, 10, 20 years ago.
What was the fear? You said you had fear. What was the fear about getting a building? Because that's a real thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Lion's share of business owners have that same fear.
when you've never done it, it's just a scary deal. You got to buy your own building. You got to pay the taxes, the insurance. You got to fix things, and that was my main fear. It was the unknown. Everything is scary until you do it, and then when you do it, you realize later, like, man, I should have done this a long time ago. This is totally what I should have did a long time ago. And you reconnect the dots backwards. You're like, man, I really messed this up, but the best time is now, right? So I think in the future, things will be really good.
Man, he is saying what every business owner out there watching us needs to hear, because you initially have this fear. I talk about it in the book called the first one syndrome. The first one's the scariest one. That's the one you struggle with. Mentally, you can't wrap your head around it. And a lot of times business owners are on an island. So they don't hang around a ton of business owners themselves. They live in a neighborhood and it's probably just working everyday
Mhm.
Joes. And so business owners don't necessarily hang around the guys they should be hanging around with. We're all guilty of that, right? And so you get in this mindset of just having fear of that first one. But when you come out of that first one, what you just said is exactly what happens. I saw this over and over in the banking world. The first one became the launching pad. That was the one that had the training wheels on it. Once you rip them training wheels off, now you're rolling with 10 speeds and you're rolling motorcycles, and now you're going 180, And generally, it's the first one they buy. After that, they buy a second one, they buy a third. And over time, what they do is the income and the wealth that is created from the real estate far surpasses what they do on the business side. And I will always say this, like real estate can give you joy when it's stabilized. Business seems to never give you joy. Business is always a grind. You're always, even the best guys are still working 10 hours a week, you know, but the average dude, he's 40 hours a week. The worst of the poor fellows, you know, they're 78 hours a week.
Oh yeah.
And not making anything what they should be making. So business is a grind. How do you get from that part of your business over into start having the joy? It's this right here. You got to buy your own building. Like it, to me, that is the hack for the business owner, is buying your own building. And now that you've got that one, what are your thoughts now? When are you going to buy that second one?
Oh yeah, 100%. Now that we have that space that I was afraid to get in the first place, I was like, there's no way. This is such a risk. How are we going to fill this up? But I was like, I need more space, but I'm afraid I can't fill it up and it's going to really hurt. Well, with, you know, just a few months, I walked in, I was like, I pinched myself and I was like, holy smokes, this place is full. And I was like, we've only been here a few months. I'm like, okay, well, if we can do this for maybe a few years, I can generate enough profit to buy the building next door and expand the business again. So now within, what's it been, 6 months plus we've been in the building, I'm already like, I want to get the building next door. I'm putting it out into the energy out into the world.
Put it out there. That's right.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, if we can get this building next door, we'll be able to do all this and that, because we filled this building up in no time. We actually are already starting to need more space, and we can remodel that building, not as crazy. And you know, the thing is, like, I have employees that have been with me quite some time, and I have a family, beautiful wife, kids, and the business is something that helps all these people and helps my family. And if I can continue to grow the business by getting another building, doing more, I'm also able to help the people that help me build the business, and I can help my family, my kids. And the real estate is something, if we can get another building, have millions of dollars, you know, this is the beginning for me buying commercial real estate. But in time, in 10 years and 20 years, maybe I can have a lot of it. And I'm definitely going to read your book and
tell them where they can buy the book, man.
Yeah.
Go to shanemara.com if you guys want to get a copy of the book.
Yeah, I'm going to read
we got
your
a digital
book.
copy there. This is on Amazon as well. Confessions of a Banker.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that, because I'll learn a lot about what we're talking about right now, because I'm new to this, and it sounds like that book's going to be perfect for people like me. But yeah, in 10, 20 years, when I don't want to do this anymore, I'm going to have millions of dollars to give back to my family, you know, one day when I'm gone, you know, and I could retire off of it, and they'll have something, and including my employees that help me build it, they'll also have something. I can pay them more, you know, and they'll have something that they can have a great life with.
Hey guys, I'm telling you, this guy's speaking wisdom. This is exactly what happens. It happened over and over. I would say almost every business owner that bought his own building shares the exact same story as that. Once they got the first one, they had a comfort level with it. We all want real estate. We all love Monopoly, right? Like, that was our favorite game as a kid, is Monopoly. And we all want Park Place and Boardwalk, right? And that's how you get there. Once you buy that first one, you want to buy more. It's like ingrained in us to want more. But you got to know how to do it right. And once you figure out the secret sauce about how to do it, Josh, you got a similar story.
We do. Same exact story. It's funny because, like, I remember the building I was looking at. I would drive by every single day, and then I walked up to the lady and knocked on the door. I was like, "Hey, can you owner finance me this building?" Never be afraid to ask, guys.
Absolutely not.
I'll be surprised. I'll say I've done it maybe 4 or 5 times. 2 out of the 4 were open to the discussion. We were looking at like 5 acres close by down here. I just sent a message to the guy. What you want to look for is you want to look for a homemade sign, right? This is the number one key right here. If you look for the sign that they went down to Home Depot and they picked up a sign and they wrote their phone number, that's how you know it's for sale by owner.
That's
so
right.
You don't got to dick around with the real estate agents because they ain't worth the damn anyway.
And a lot of times they mess deals up.
They'll mess a deal up. right? And they're not going to go look at your best interest. So you message the owner directly. Hey, I'm looking at your property. Would you be interested in owner financing? The guy said yes. I called Shane, my CFO. I said, hey, let's get some terms together. We talked about doing 6%, 25-year AM, $50,000 down. We sent the proposal over text message. He was like, yeah, that's okay. And that's how simple it was, because you never know what situation they're in, right? They could be having a loss in the family. They have another deal they want to get involved in. They may be, doing some tax stuff. And so you always want to propose to them, like, what your thoughts are. They're not gonna get offended. They listing the property for sale. You're probably not the only one that asked them for owner financing. And more people are open to that now, especially with the high rates that are going on, especially with that. So, the deal that we were working on, it was 6%. So that would have been like almost 2 or 3 points lower than what the market rate is now. And we don't got to deal with the banks, right? So there's nothing slowing the deal down. You're literally working with the owner, wire the money, work with the title company, get the deal done. You own the property, you go do whatever you need with it, and you're off to the races at that point. So for those of you out there that are looking for buildings or whatever it is, I'd say definitely propose that, before you start having to deal with the banks.
There's a lot of value right there. That's why it's good to have friends like this and go meet people that, like you said earlier, a lot of us are in our own echo chamber. Sometimes we're the most successful person in our group, and that's not good. So go out and meet people like this. Read books if you can't find people, if you don't know anybody. That's one of the ways that I became so comfortable and confident in what I was doing to continue to grow. Because when I couldn't find anybody, being a poor immigrant, I had to find other ways. I didn't know anybody that was wealthy. And so I found books like this, and this is how you do it. So I'm definitely excited to read that, and you guys should check it out if you're interested in real estate. Because getting outside of your echo chamber, sometimes you have to do it by reading books. You can't just go up and meet somebody who's wealthy. They may not have time to talk to you. You have to build and earn that relationship and that level. And, that's why Josh and I are such good friends, because we found each other at a conference by accident.
By accident, yeah.
A lot of the same values and morals, and
the grind, man, the grind.
Yeah.
You can see someone, you recognize someone's grind, right? Like when you see, okay, this guy's a hard worker. He's getting shit done. He's doing shit. He's publishing. He's running a business. He's dealing with the headaches. He's dealing with the economy. He's dealing with the elections, but he's still getting the shit done no matter what. And there's a level of respect there that, we have for each other. And, seeing you grind and grow, like, it's exciting, it's motivating, and it's the same. And we share that mutual respect, And then now with the real estate stuff, like, that's so exciting, because I remember when we met, I had bought my first building around that time. And then you came to my building, and then I was kind of helping you out with some marketing stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, we should, look at getting your own place, man, that kind of
Planted that
stuff.
seed.
And, that's the same seed that, Shane was talking to me about many years ago. And I was like, nah, I don't want to buy a building. So some of you out there,
That was
like,
his face
that's
too.
my- just like that. I was
when I
like,
told him,
what
like,
the? I'm
I'm,
just a little
I'm
old
in the
me.
seed planting business.
Yeah.
That's what this book is all about. It's planting seeds.
Yeah.
And he gave me that same look.
Same look, man. I was like, nah, what are you talking about?
That was the look right there.
I was like,
That was it.
nah. And then we get the first deal done, right? We get the first deal done. It was hard. The first one is really hard. I think your one is a great story. It doesn't seem like you had too many challenges. I got denied by the bank 1 week before closing. I had to call someone. Shout out to Mike Anderson, Reliance Mortgage. I had to call him and get a hard money loan.
Mike.
Oh, Mikey, RIP, baby. And I had to call him and get a hard money loan from him. He lent me $500,000, and we closed like, a week later. And then we had to refinance. So that's always, dealing with the banks once again.
Yeah, and I will say right there, like, one thing about what he went through, you were a week away from losing the deal.
Yeah.
Right?
I actually called the realtor. I was like, bro, it's not going to work. The bank's not.
The bank lets you
Yeah.
down. And this is what banks do. They will tentatively agree on something. And then, but really, when they tell you they're tentatively agreeing, they haven't really fully underwritten the deal.
Yeah.
And so, but they won't tell you that.
Mhm.
So it's still in underwriting without you knowing about it. Next thing you know, a week later, 2 weeks later, a week before you close later, they're like, man, sorry, if you don't have additional income or something, we can't do the deal.
Yeah.
You don't have any more collateral you can give us? You got nothing? Sorry, man, we can't do it. but they left you high and dry.
They did. Yeah.
So be very
I called the bank
creative.
directly and asked them, "What do you need? What do you need?" Like, "Oh, we need like to show 50,000 more, something like that." But it's like, why did I have to call you? Like, you don't want to do the deal or
Yeah.
not, right? But up until the whole time, you're telling me like, "Oh, it's cool. We're gonna do it. We're gonna get it done," but it's still got to go to loan committee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we just went through that this year with another project.
Yeah. And last thing you want is to get hung up with that, but be very, very creative. Creative in owner financing,
Yeah.
creative in a lot of people don't have the down payment money. Like you did. It was not a problem. You were very established. But what if you try to do this in year 5, right? It's a lot harder. So I'm speaking to a lot of business owners out there that will tell me, I love it, bro, but I ain't got the money. And so you need to partner with somebody. So on the first one, if you don't have the cash, you're going to have to partner with somebody. And don't feel bad about it. Make it happen. Be creative about it. Beg, borrow, steal is what I tell people to do on that first one. It doesn't matter what you got to do to get it, just get it.
Yeah.
Did you steal, man?
No, I didn't steal. I was gonna say,
Why'd you agree
hold
with
on,
that?
don't- I was like, no, don't steal.
Don't steal.
But
Rob, but
everything
don't
else-
steal.
Yeah, I'm losing that term loosely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Very
sure.
loose.
You got to get it done one way or another.
That's right.
And-
you just got to get it done.
I mean, if you look at that guy, the guy that you purchased from, right, and you were to go have a dinner meeting with him and say, "Hey, what's the best move that you did?" And I bet you he would say the real estate on top of the businesses, right? Mixing it together.
Yeah.
And 10 years now, me and you gonna be having that same conversation. It's like,
100%.
and we may not even be involved in business anymore, right? Because we got
And
so many
most aren't,
properties.
like the restaurateur. He's not doing restaurateur work anymore, probably. He's
No,
probably sold all the business operation, but he kept all that real estate
100%.
and it's mailbox money.
Yep.
And he's living the best life he's ever lived.
100%.
And that'll be you. Whenever you decide to call it a day, you'll have that ability. You'll be able to keep the building, right? And they will rent from you at some exorbitant rent amount.
You'll be their landlord now, man.
You'll be their landlord,
Yeah.
and you can dictate all the terms you want because they want your business.
It's actually pretty crazy. Like I would never be a landlord like the one I had. No shout outs to him if you're watching.
No shit.
But like when I signed at 20 years old, my contract, I had no idea what I was doing. And
You signed a 20-year lease?
no, but when I was 20 years
Okay,
old, I
okay.
signed several contracts, but because I wasn't really savvy
Yeah.
with contracts or law or anything, and I didn't have anybody, because again, my family doesn't know anybody, and I didn't know anybody at the time for a long time. But he had it like if the light went out, if the door broke,
Guess
if
who's
the-
fixing that?
if the front door didn't open, if the front of the building needed paint and it was ugly, if my plumbing was messed up, I would be like, hey, something's going on. He'd
He's
be
like,
like, yeah,
"Sorry."
look at your contract.
Sorry, David.
Yeah, just look at your contract. And I'm like, I can't read this contract. It's
When
like,
in doubt, refer back to the contract.
yeah, everything was read your contract. So, in a way, I'm thankful for him. Like I said, connecting the dots backwards. I'm not too happy with him, but he also taught me I'm not afraid if the AC goes out or if I need to buy my AC system because I fixed the whole place up on my own dime.
Right.
Everything broke, I fixed it. So I wasn't as afraid to get into my own place and fix stuff because unfortunately, not knowing how to, talk about contracts and negotiating these things properly, which was ignorant, like really get somebody who understands the contracts and that'll help you win and make a good deal if you have to do a contract or a lease, so you don't make my mistake. But in the end, it did teach me a lot of what not to do, but it also taught me of how to take care of things and not worry about fixing issues. Most people are like, I don't want my own place because I don't want to fix stuff when it goes bad or the tenant is always bothering me. Well, someone like me who did everything wrong, I'm not afraid of those type of things anymore.
Here's a question. Were you renting the same place for 20 years?
I rented the same place from 2002 to it's still been paid off until
Yeah.
mid 2025.
He's still paying rent, by the way. That's why you want to be a landlord.
Yep.
He prepaid what? At least a year and a half?
Year and a half. Yeah, I
Year and a half.
prepaid
Year and
to
a half.
get out and
How much do you
just
think you
get
spent on
away
rent?
from them. What's that?
How much do you think you spent on rent?
Oh my gosh. I'd have to get my calculator
Yeah,
out.
he didn't even want to do
I don't
that.
wanna
But-
know,
But
yeah.
I will tell you this. Like 20 years ago, your guy got that building for a song.
Mhm.
He might have paid $300,000 or $400,000 for it.
Right.
And I will bet money that building now is worth 1.5, a
It's-
million to 1.5.
Probably 2
Well,
million.
so the building that I was in was a strip center. It was probably about 2.2 when he bought it,
Oh,
and now it's probably 5 or
exactly.
so.
And guess who helped pay that off and get
Yeah,
rich?
and
Get the landlord
I'm one
rich,
of the
this
only
guy.
tenants that stayed there.
But guess what?
Or
It's
the
not happening
only-
again. It's never
yeah.
happening again.
Of
You're not
course.
going to make anybody rich except yourself.
100%.
That's why we do this, guys. That's why we want you to have your own building. It's a powerful thing. It's playing Monopoly in real life. If you have a business, you're going to need a place to rent anyway. So why rent from somebody? Own your own building.
100%.
How does it feel when you walk in now? to
That's
your own place?
that's what you reminded me about just now. I literally
Yeah.
you took the words out of my mouth. When I sit in my own office in my own building, I don't want to go home from work anymore. My wife's
all
like,
yours.
"Why are you so late?
Yeah.
Why are you so late? We've been here all day with the kids. The kids got to go to bed. And I'm like, I love my building.
I love it.
That's
I
your
love
floor.
it.
That's your walls. Those
I
are your
love my
light
office.
switch.
I love
Yeah.
my chair now.
You love your chair. Yeah.
I love my wall.
Yeah. It's all
love
yours, baby.
everything,
It's all
yeah.
yours.
It really
Good, man.
feels like home. It feels
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
good.
Exactly.
And I got to tell you, at one point I had a restaurant, and that was a horrible mistake, just owning a restaurant. It's the worst business ever. But I would have stayed in that restaurant, but we were in a strip center, and I tried to get the landlord to sell me the building. She wouldn't do it. And I was like, if you don't sell me that building, I've got to sell this restaurant. She's like, I don't care, sell it. But that's what the landlords do. They have all the power. But once you have that, you can operate a restaurant at zero cost or zero profit as long as your rent's getting paid and the building's going up in value. And there's so many restaurants like that. They don't make a ton of money, but just because you have the building, that's where the joy is.
Mm.
But I bought into another business a while back, and the only reason I bought into the buildings or the business was because it had a building, and I knew my exit strategy was going to be the sale of the building, and it was. And so buildings are just powerful, man. They change everything when you get one. And in the book, I write about 10 reasons why you need to do it. So you've touched on a whole bunch of them, but there's several more reasons about why you need to do it. And then we cover the how do you make that stuff happen. Like you covered a lot about the how right now, but we cover all that in the book.
Yeah.
What are a couple of like the hows without going into depth? Because you gotta buy the book to know everything. But
Buy the book,
like
baby.
what are a couple of the hows we didn't touch on just like briefly?
Well, you made it all happen,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So the how is how do you actually pull this off? Like you plant the seed and then you decide, I want to do it, right? Once the commitment has been made, I want to do this, you either have the cash to do it yourself or you don't. It's that simple. And if you have the money, you do what you did. You owner finance, you go to the bank, you make it happen. You put anywhere between 10 to 20% down. You can do SBA with 10. Everything else with the bank is going to be 20, 25. Owner finance, you can negotiate. Outside of that, you got a partner. And we talk a little bit about how do you partner with somebody.
Okay.
And first off, I tell these business owners, like, if you don't have the money and you got to go out and partner with somebody to get this capital, you've got to first believe in you and your business. Because if you go to some guy wanting him to partner with you and you don't have the confidence, he picks up on that, man. Desperation stinks, bro. It's got a bad
100%.
odor to it. And so you got to go to a guy with money or a gal with money, and you got to be confident that you got what it takes to make that happen. But I will tell you this, like, so many investors out there, they want to own real estate. But at the end of the day, real estate doesn't mean anything without great tenants. And so you as a business owner got to realize, and you got to put it in your head that you are a great tenant. You got to believe you're a great tenant. And then, but when you do, that's going to help validate what you're trying to do, which is go out and get somebody to help you buy a building. And it's all about how much cash you have down. If you've got 5% and you need 15 to get the bank to do it, then it's just about negotiating. But you do got to find these right people. But reach out to your circle of friends.
Yeah.
Like the wealthiest people in your circle of friends is where I would start. But have your shit in order when you go to them. Get your financials in order. Have your taxes ready. Get a bookkeeper to get all this ironed out. CFO. That's kind of what I do. And I help people prep this stuff for the banks too. Like, you want to take this stuff to a bank and look like you're professional and you got it together.
Yes.
And so that's a big part of the how.
It's a lot of the prep work ahead of time.
When you go to the bank, when you actually go to bank, if you can't get owner finance, what kind of loan do you want to go for? Like SBA 20,
There's only
25,
two.
or like a conventional?
There's only two on the commercial side.
Because I already got a loan, so now I can't get like a first time SBA loan, right?
No, you still can. You can still get an SBA loan. The only two in town for the commercial side is an SBA loan and just a regular conventional commercial loan. That's it. Now, the drawbacks, neither one of these loans are fixed in rate. Like we all think about this 30-year fixed mortgage rate we have on our houses. That doesn't exist in a commercial world. You're going to get a 5 to a 10-year fixed rate. That's it. And right now, rates suck. So you don't mind having an adjustable rate now because you want those rates to come back down. When they get cheap, that's when you want to lock it in. But yeah, those are the only two.
Wow, I thought you could get a fixed.
Not for that. Not for long periods of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 to 10 is all you're
Wow,
going to
I
get.
was hoping to get like a 20-year fixed. Holy smokes.
One more thing
They
though.
make it
Before
so hard for business
they do,
owners.
yeah, of course. Nothing
That's-
is easy, man. Come
Nothing
on.
is easy.
If it was easy, everybody would do it, right? It's
Yeah,
how to
for
make money.
sure.
One more thing before you go to the bank. If you are not doing your bookkeeping, taking cash under the table, your P&L statements, your balance sheet is not tight, they're not going to talk to you. You're going to look like a fool. So make sure that if you have your uncle doing your bookkeeping, don't even bother. Just quit right now, okay? Make sure you got a professional bookkeeper and accountant. The bookkeeper and the accountant need to not be the same people, okay? Make sure it's separate so that everything's clean, everything's squared away. And take a look at it yourself, because when you go to the bank and you take a look at when you submit your application, they're going to ask you about everything. They're going to dig in deep, just like what Shane said. They're going to ask you for statements, and you have a bad quarter. What happened? What's your plans?
Yeah.
However, they do like owner-occupied real estate.
They love it. That's
They
their
love it.
favorite loan.
Yeah.
So the one product that you want is the one product that the bank absolutely loves. Like of all the lending products out there, you being an owner-occupied business owner, it'll be owner-occupied commercial real estate. That is their favorite loan. So you're going to get the best rate, you're going to get the best terms, and it's going to be the easiest to do. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's the easiest of anything that a bank does.
Okay.
One of the things that we're doing up for this book is we're doing, a consult fee where, you call us and we can go through everything with your deal to make sure you can do it first, or you're going to need a partner. And that's one of the things we're going to offer.
Yeah. So to recap, there'll be a link below to get the book. Okay. So that you can get the book below. You can download it. If you need help purchasing your building, you can set up a call with Shane. He can dive in, and from his 20 years of being a banker and helping people get buildings, helping me get several buildings, he's going to be able to give you a banker's perspective on there. So if you have to go to the bank, if you're not able to do the owner finance, especially if you go with SBA is going to dig in. They're going to ask you for blood type. I mean, they go all the way back.
They go deep, baby.
They go deep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're going to penetrate. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure you're tight before you even start the whole SBA process, because they're going to ask you for a lot of stuff. And the best look for you is to have everything prepared. Shane has a lot of experience with that. So you'll be offered an opportunity to book a call with him if you want to get involved with that and take the next step. So there'll be a link below, or you can go to shanemara.com, ShaneMara.com to get a copy of the book. And any last thoughts, David, about where you are now? Are you proud of yourself?
Yeah. I never thought that I could accomplish all the things that I have. And it's the further you go, the further you can see. So you just got to be consistent and never give up. I always put never surrender in the posts I make online,
I love
because
it.
it's not just for you, it's for me.
Yeah.
Every day when you do this, you want to give up. You want to quit every week. It's so hard managing people and
Business is
customers
hard.
and growing, and the economy and climate and politics, and everything is so hard. So every week I want to quit, and I don't. And that's probably been my strongest suit, to get where I have, and consistency. Every day I want to quit, I get back up and go back again and fight. And I always say, consistency beats talent when talent isn't consistent. So you just got to keep grinding.
Love
So
that.
I'm definitely proud of myself looking back to how far we've come. And I'm super excited about my journey with the real estate now and learning everything from you guys. Super excited
Yo,
about that.
thank you so much for being on here. Where can people find you online? You can tell them.
You can find me, David Chuckman, Facebook, Instagram. You can watch our YouTube series.
He has a great YouTube series, guys. Day in the life. Go see what they're doing up there. Everybody should be doing it. We all could do a better job at vlogging, but this guy got it down. Always fun stuff going on.
We're on YouTube, TriTech Window Tint. You can follow
How do you
what
spell
I do every
TriTech
week.
for those out there?
TRITEK
I got you.
Window Tint. Instagram, Facebook, TriTech Window Tinting. And you can find me, David Chuckman. I post every single day. Like I said, consistency. I don't miss a day. And our company posts every single day. And we
Wow.
make a YouTube video every week consistently for 129 episodes now.
129.
Yeah.
Wow. Knock it out
Every
the
week,
park.
sick,
Yeah.
vacation, snow. Somehow
Election.
election. We still put out a video every
Yeah.
Monday. So check it out. Keep grinding because consistency beats talent when talent isn't consistent.
I love it. That's
Keep grinding because we got
that's
the
great
right
line.
people in the office now. So we got 48 months to make as much money as you can. We're back, baby.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Check out the links below. You can book a call, get Shane's book on his website. We'll drop the link. And until next time, we'll see you. Take care.